All right, good morning, everyone. This is meteorologist Andrew Crenn here from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina, here to give you your routine Thursday weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This will be covering the period today through next Wednesday, going from July 29th through August 4th. Hard to believe it's almost August already. The main thing we want to highlight for today and tomorrow, we do have some chances of some storms today and tomorrow, but probably the main impact that we want to highlight for you is going to be relatively hot the next couple days with heat indices well over 100 for today and Friday, primarily along and east of US 1. Heat indices are expected to be the highest tomorrow, especially over the sandhills in the southern coastal plain, places like Fayetteville, Clinton, Laurinburg, and also Ivanhoe. Heat indices down there close to 107 tomorrow. So we really want to stress that these next couple days are probably going to be the hottest that we've had so far this summer. And actually, when we went back and looked at the records, yesterday at the Raleigh airport, we reached a high of 95, and that was actually our warmest day so far this year. So we're forecasting pretty much the same today, middle 90s, and low and mid to upper 90s for tomorrow. So that will push heat indices well over 100 for Friday, primarily, as I said before, along and east of US 1. So be sure to protect yourself from the heat when you're outside these next couple days. We really want to stress, drink plenty of water, apply sunscreen regularly if you are outside during the peak heating hours, especially in the early afternoon. Dress in lightweight and light colored clothing. Be sure to take breaks in the shade, and also just don't spend a prolonged time outdoors, especially, during that early to late afternoon time frame when the sun is most intense. Going away from the heat and transitioning into our upcoming weather pattern, tonight and Friday, we have a surface trough that's going to be a focus for some isolated storms over the triangle and along and north today, primarily this afternoon to the early evening hours. Yesterday, we saw more widespread activity. A similar surface trough was located over us yesterday. We don't think that we're going to see as widespread of coverage today as we saw yesterday, but any of those storms that may develop today along and north of the triangle could produce some locally strong wind gusts. Tomorrow, a cold front will be dropping down from the north into central North Carolina, and that's going to increase our chances for storms, especially along and south of US 1. So we think a better chance for storms will exist tomorrow. Now, as we get into Saturday, we'll see some weak high pressure settling in, and that will help bring in some drier weather and also some cooler temperatures. So the really extreme heat today and tomorrow will help cool us off over the weekend with that cold front. We'll have a disturbance late Saturday and Sunday, and that will return our chances of some showers and some storms. After a brief reprieve Saturday, we'll see that rain chance increase late Saturday, Sunday, and actually that rain chance will continue through the middle of next week. We'll have a stalled frontal boundary across southeastern United States and North Carolina, and that's going to actually favor cooler temperatures. Potentially, we can't rule it out. It could potentially be highs in the upper 70s in some portions of central North Carolina by Tuesday and Wednesday, and also likely some 80s mixed in there as well. We don't think it's going to be an overall wet pattern the whole period, but the conditions are looking favorable that we could see a prolonged unsettled pattern from late in the weekend through the middle part of next week. Going into that, let's go into the accumulated precipitation forecast through the next 7 days. Generally, light precipitation amounts are expected today and tomorrow, generally under a quarter of an inch. we do think the primary rain period will be late Saturday through Wednesday. The Weather Prediction Center, for its 7-day precipitation forecast, shows that some portions of central North Carolina could exceed 3 inches in some locations. So that stalled frontal boundary is going to be something to watch. We don't want to say that there could be some potential flooding, but given the current pattern, we may have to keep an eye on that as we get closer. This is the latest. Thanks to our neighbors at the North Carolina Climate Office, this is our latest drought assessment. We have seen some improvement in terms of some of the abnormal dryness over the western Piedmont, but over the last week, much of the rain has kind of been fairly localized and not widespread as we would like. So there is still some lingering long-term dryness kind of showing up over the western Piedmont and closer to the mountains. But further east, we've continued to see a wet summer across the coastal plain, actually since June 1, which is what the Climate Office has provided us. Greenville has seen 11.5 inches above normal, and Wilmington 9.1 inches above normal. So they've had their quite their fair share of rainfall. Here is WPC's excessive rainfall outlook. As you probably would expect, given light precipitation amounts today and tomorrow, and drier weather on Saturday, we're not expecting any flash flooding these next 3 days. Going into our severe weather outlook, courtesy of the Storm Prediction Center, just kind of a broad overview. Today and tomorrow, we have no organized severe storms expected today, but as I mentioned, some late day storms are possible along US 1. And then a better chance for some potential, a marginal risk for severe storms tomorrow, with the main threat tomorrow being locally damaging wind gusts. Saturday, with high pressure moving in, we don't expect any organized storms. And Sunday, no severe storms are currently forecast. So taking a closer look into the severe outlook for today and tomorrow, the left figure shows for the forecast for today, and the figure on the right is showing it for tomorrow. Overall, the Storm Prediction Center isn't forecasting any organized thunder activity or storm activity across the Carolinas today, but we do think there is a slight chance along and north of US 1 where we could see some locally strong wind gusts with some of those isolated storms that do develop. We don't think it's going to be as widespread as we saw yesterday. And then tomorrow, with that cold front coming in, there's a marginal risk of some severe weather. The main risk is going to be some locally damaging winds. Now, let's transition into the tropics. Actually, it's been quiet. It's been quiet for quite some time, which is a very good thing. So we don't expect any tropical cyclone activity to develop over the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean for the next 5 days. This is looking at our 6 to 10 day outlook, courtesy of the Climate Prediction Center. The left figure is for our temperature outlook, and the right is for precipitation. Now, I mentioned earlier the stalled frontal boundary early next week, and basically that's what we're seeing here is that below normal temperatures are favored across the southeast and the Carolinas for a 6 to 10 day period, along with that increased potential for some unsettled rainfall. So, we can all take the cooler temperatures. I'm sure most of you would enjoy the cooler temperatures. But in terms of the unsettled weather, that's going to keep our temperatures down. So let's sum it all up together for you, our weather summary. So we want to stress hot and humid conditions are expected today and Friday. Heat indices the next couple days between 100 and 107, primarily along and east of US 1. Be sure to drink plenty of water. Avoid time outdoors during the hottest part of the day. We have a weak trough that will create a slight chance of some isolated storms today, and a cold front tomorrow will favor scattered thunderstorms Friday. Temperatures will cool down over the weekend and early next week with a stalled frontal boundary. This will also increase our rain chances, and unsettled weather will be possible. We don't think it's going to be rain the entire time, but there will be probably more rain than dry time. Isolated thunderstorms and scattered thunderstorms on Friday will be capable of producing some locally damaging wind gusts. That is it for the weekly briefing. I will